Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This behind me is Lambeth Bridge, and this building here is the one that I walked past the other day, and I said, oh, it's bristling with cameras. Someone very, very important must work there. And of course that's Millbank, MI5. Babylon is just the other side of the river. So again, we're really in the thick of it here in London, and I'm very pleased to say that although the other day I said, oh, I'd like to get out and have a long walk myself because Graham can't, guess who's with me?
I'm not dead yet, you know. It's life in the old dog yet.
How's your sex change working out?
It's okay, I'm getting used to the panty pads.
Right, let's discuss. Come and discuss, Graham.
Oh, you want me to come and discuss
yes,
as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
You're not a citizen, we're subjects, aren't we? We're British subjects.
Subject, is that what we are?
Just British subjects, having a chat about the royal family and the state of affairs and the state of play. And a lot is happening. MP Bob Seeley, I think, is going to put something to the House of Commons tomorrow. I'm not sure what the name of the act is. It's 1917. It's basically from the First World War, where they could remove the titles of people who they felt were treacherous to the country, treasonous. And he is suggesting presenting that in some manner to the Houses of Parliament tomorrow. Now, I'm not sure how legislative law goes, but I don't know if this is an act of Parliament that's been repealed, rescinded, is defunct, or if it's an act that is in existence but just hasn't been used. There's obviously something very important going on. There's all sorts of motorcades flying around.
You just got to live with it. This is London, this is what it's like, you know. If you wait for...
Oh, we've got a fire going that way and an ambulance going that way. Oh no, they're all going the same way. Did you see a minute ago there was a black Range Rover, or was it? What was it?
Yeah.
Black 4x4.
It was the Archbishop's personal security.
You don't know that.
He's got more security than Prince Harry, that's for sure.
It was something very, very important. It came over the bridge from
like
MI5.
A black Volkswagen, didn't it, with all blue lights on it?
It was weird.
Anyway, this is London, this is what it's like, you know, you will be distracted and bothered.
Actually, I find London very, very safe. I haven't seen anything violent or that I felt threatened. I feel quite free to walk around.
Yeah.
Which I have been doing a lot. Right, anyway, so this MP is going to do something with this act tomorrow in order to remove Harry and Meghan's, well, Harry's title. It's not Meghan's title, it's Harry's title. She is the Duchess of Sussex because she's married to him.
But if his title vanishes, hers will automatically vanish as well.
Exactly. Also powwow with Charles and William, no doubt this week at Sandringham, which is where the King is at the moment, and I suspect William will go up there. And Hugh Grosvenor, the Duke of Westminster, who's a character who fascinates us quite a lot. The Westminsters fascinate us. He
very, very old aristocratic British family.
Yeah.
Goes right back to William the Conqueror, apparently.
Oh, you found some more history?
Grosvenors,
right?
yeah.
Hugh is, or was, he's getting married next year. Probably the most eligible bachelor in the world.
I think they're the richest people in the UK, aren't they?
They're billionaires.
Certainly one of the top people in the world.
He's very good looking. He's younger than William and Harry.
And fabulously rich.
Yes, his dad died quite young, I think. And his dad was very good looking as well. He's having a big wedding next year, and apparently Harry and Meghan's name are not on the guest list.
They couldn't make it, but they were too busy for him, apparently.
Otherwise known as being off the Christmas card list, I believe is the
another way of putting it, yeah.
British expression. I don't think it's the only Christmas card list they're off, because I don't see her getting invited to any real red carpet events, Met Gala, anything like that, or any proper awards ceremony.
You wouldn't want to grab in the microphone and ruining your night, would you?
Or as Neil Sean said, she has to be wrestled to the ground to get the microphone back on. What a reputation. And the big question is, how did Omid Scobie know that it was Charles and Catherine that Meghan had allegedly named? Because we don't know. We don't know for a fact. She might have named a different two royals. But I did send you a WhatsApp of a photograph, if you've got your phone.
Oh, right, yeah.
And there was a I don't know if this is the Daily Mail being mischievous, and as you'll know, PR is my thing, because newspapers can twist things. They don't outright bullshit, but they can twist wording and make things sound very different to how they are. Now,
Yeah.
this is a screenshot from an article in the Daily Mail where they say that after Charles and Catherine have been named as racist, a palace source said most right-thinking people would expect an apology who wouldn't. Being falsely branded a racist in print is a serious allegation and must be treated seriously. All options are still on the table. Sources, this is the bit that interests me, sources close to the Sussexes have attempted to distance the couple from the book. They say Meghan never intended the King or Princess of Wales to be publicly identified in the race row, and say the letter was not leaked to Scobie by anyone close to her. Now that, firstly, that's not an official Archwell, Harry or Meghan statement. That's sources close.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it seems to confirm that she did name the Princess of Wales and the King in the letter she wrote to the King, because it says, they say Meghan never intended the King or the Princess to be publicly identified. Now, does that mean that it wasn't the King and the Princess? It was other people?
It means it was them, but she never intended them to be identified.
That's how I initially
That's how I
read
read it. That's
now,
how I read it.
is that exactly how her sources worded it, or is that the Daily Mail being mischievous and playing with the words a little bit?
I don't know.
Because you know how they always were with us. They used to make out you were 37 years old and you'd run off with a 15-year-old schoolgirl,
Yeah.
which was me, which is bullshit, because I'm 9 years younger than you. But the way they twisted the words, so I read these things and then I
They
think,
do.
is that how they meant it to come across? Because it does come across as if Meghan's people are saying, yes, it was Charles and Catherine, but she never meant to say that publicly. I'll read it again. They say Meghan never intended the King or the Princess to be publicly identified. I don't know. It's an interesting one. If Harry and Meghan actually released an official Archwell statement, then that would clarify the situation, wouldn't it? But even if they said they'd never intended that, I wouldn't believe them. I think it was intentional. Don't you? Or
I
do
won't
you?
believe anything they say without proof,
Yeah.
because they just tell so many lies. I say, I don't believe it. Give me proof. Give me hard proof. I'll read the proof and then I'll make my decision whether I believe them or not.
It's like when she said they got married 3 days before they got married. Now,
I know. What a load of bollocks.
do you think she said it like, oh, it was just a blessing?
We got married in
private?
secret. I recall her saying she got married in secret 3 days
Yeah.
before the service. That's how I
The
heard
way
it.
the way she said
And that was
it,
bollocks.
it sounded like an official wedding ceremony 3 days before the actual wedding in public. It didn't sound like, oh, it was just a private moment for a blessing. The way she said it sounded like they actually got married, which brings
Another
me to...
lie.
Let's revolve a little to the guy who lives in Lambeth Palace.
Yes. As you come round here now. If we stand back a bit, we might be able to get it in. Can you get
So
it in?
if she said it like a...
There you go. Lambeth Palace.
If she said it like, oh, it was just a blessing, why did the guy who lives there feel the need to say that nothing of the sort happened? I would have been breaking law, and generally speaking, I don't break the law as the Archbishop of Canterbury.
If anything happened, it would be a rehearsal for the wedding 3 days before the wedding.
They normally have the rehearsal in the actual chapel, church,
Well,
cathedral the night before. No, she
You
didn't.
know yourself, after the ceremony, you go and sign the wedding certificate, and whatever date's on the wedding certificate, that's when you got married.
And I mean, the other thing is they're really fighting to get rid of this nickname that Omid Scobie's now got, that he is her mouthpiece. That's always been his nickname as far as I know. But I can see why he's fighting it, because he doesn't want Judge Charlene Honeywell to realise, and if she doesn't realise by now, the woman must live under a rock, that Omid Scobie was not a world-famous royal correspondent before Meghan came along. he appeared at the same time as Meghan. And still the press are not really asking who is Marcus Anderson and what relationship does he have with Meghan and with Omid Scobie.
Yes, it does appear there is a relationship between Marcus Anderson and Omid Scobie.
Or there has been a connection.
Or there has been, definitely, but it remains to be seen what that connection actually is. There's been lots of rumours, but unconfirmed, but it looks like there is a connection.
I'm pretty sure that the press will be working on finding that connection, and I think that that connection could help to put the pieces together of how Omid knew which two royal names it were, that there was even the existence of letters between Meghan and Harry. I don't know if Endgame he claims to have actually seen the letters or has just been told about the letters. It's all very intriguing, it's all very messy, isn't it? It's all coming to a head, and the King is apparently holding very serious investigations on his side, presumably to clear the name of all the people on his team. I mean, who would want to hurt the King like that? Who would want to hurt the Princess of Wales like that? It, as Meghan says, just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. Does it?
No.
But I think they did it intentionally in the first place out of malice. I think they thought they'd get a sympathetic reaction. I think they realised they've had a very bad reaction. As I said at the beginning, this is the worst PR look ever. And they're now trying to backtrack and blame the palace.
And she's still staring at the telephone waiting for Tom Cruise to call.
And that's never going to happen, is it?
Doesn't look like.
Thank you very much for listening. Oh,
Graham and the Cat, from the heart of London.
you love Neil Sean, don't you?